Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the May 2025 dollar bead box and dollar bead bag. And I'm also going to use some beads that came in some previous dollar bead bags. I have a coupon code for the dollar bead box. It's THJ2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. Before I get started, I wanted to tell y'all, if you hear that crunching in the background, that's Sandy. She's decided it's time for breakfast. Right now when I'm trying to do a video, of course, she's decided it's time for breakfast. So she's over here eating. I've had several of you ask for an update on her and my other cat that we've had for a long time, Lily. Sandy is the little kitten we found on our doorstep a few weeks ago. She had been abandoned, and she was just really sick. She was really hungry and dehydrated, and she had a really bad congestion, and we got her to the vet, and they doctored her and gave us some medicine to give her. And I've just had a lot of you ask about how she's doing. She is completely better. She's completely well now. She's into everything all over the house. And then Lily, our older cat, she's just 3.5 years old, but she was not at all sure about Sandy for a couple of weeks there. It took her a while to to warm up to the idea of another cat in the house, but they've become great friends now, and they are just playing and chasing each other all over the house. They've chased each other all over the house this morning. They're just really having a lot of fun together. So that's the update on the little fur babies that I have. In here I have some of the beads that came in the May 2025 dollar bead bag. I think these are the ones that they're calling matte Aegean blue vitriol. I always have to guess at which beads are which beads go with the list on here, but I think that's what these are because they're matte. They are matte, and that's the only beads on the list that are listed as matte. And I'm sure I'm saying Aegean wrong, but I don't know how to say it. And then these are some beads from previous dollar bead bags. I would have used all beads from the May bag. I tried that actually, but it made it kind of dark, and I wanted it to be kind of lighter than it was when I used the darker beads, and to go with my little Bumblebee I'm going to use here. So I pulled these out from previous dollar bead bags. I don't know what the colors on these are. I gave up on trying to label things a long time ago. I'm just not that organized. But these are just a real light blue, kind of a baby blue color. And these are, I think, maybe like a teal blue. And then I have a lobster clasp and a couple of wire guardians. I have an 8mm jump ring and some 4mm jump rings. I have a couple of pieces of chain, and then a piece of chain with larger lengths that I'm going to use as an extender. I have the Bumblebee that came in the May 2025 dollar bead box. I have some Miyuki 11-0 copper-plated seed beads, and have one 8-0 Miyuki copper-plated seed bead that I'm going to use when I put my Bumblebee on. And then I have a leaf charm that I'm going to hang off the extender chain as a dangle. I'm going to be using my 6-pound fire line and smoke. I've got a size 11 beading needle. You could use, of course, a 12 if you'd rather do that. I'm not sure about a 10. You might could use a 10. We're not going to be using any 15-0s or anything, but I don't know, a 10 might get kind of tight because I'm going to go through the beads several times. So I'm using an 11. And then, of course, I'll be using my scissors and my thread burner to cut and burn down my fire line, and my pliers to put my findings on at the end. I think that's everything. I'll try to find links and put links to everything that I'm using that didn't come in the box, in the description box below. So hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of all of my beads out here now, and my wire guardian. I'm going to go ahead and put my wire guardian on right away. I like to do that if I can, so I get it done. And I've got my needle threaded, and I'm just leaving about a 6-inch tail, just enough to put a needle on and sew in, because like I said, I'm going to put my wire guardian on right away. And I've got 4 of my first color. I realized I didn't say that these are the 4mm fire polish beads. So I've got 4 of my first color here. and with 11 seed beads between each one. And this is going to be right angle weave. It's just really easy. Now I'm going to go back through this first one. Actually, I'm going to go back through all of them. Make a little right angle weave unit there. Now I'm going to go back around all of these again. So now I'm back up here to where my stop bead is. I'm going to go around them again because they're just not as tight as I need them to be for this first unit. And then I'm going to come out of this 11 here where my stop bead is. Now I'm going to push my stop bead out of the way here. And I'm going to put my little wire guardian on. So I'm going to pick up, I'm going to do a little bit of herringbone here. So I'm going to pick up 2 11 and I'm going to go back into this 11 I'm coming out of. And make my beads sitting facing up. I'm going to turn around here. I'm going to make sure my beads are sitting with their holes facing up. And I'm going to go back up this bead. I'm going to pick up 2 more 11 O's. And I'm going to go from, I need to zoom in a little bit more here. I go from the top of this 11 into the 11 next to it. Make sure my beads are sitting with their holes facing up. Now I'm going to go back into this 11 on my unit here that I started in. I'm going to back up these 2 11 O's. I'm going to pick up 2 more 11 O's. I'm going to go from this 11 down into this stack of 11 O's, the 2. I'll hold my finger over everything so it doesn't come loose. Make my beads sit with their holes facing up. I'm going to go back into this 11 here on my unit. I'm going to back up these 3 11 O's. Now I'm going to pick up my wire guardian. And I'm going to go down the other channel of my wire guardian and back down the 3 11 O's on this side. I hold my finger over the wire guardian so that the thread will land in the channel. I'm going to go back through this 11 down here. And I'm going to go back up these 3 11 O's back into the wire guardian. down the other channel of the wire guardian and back into those 3 11-ohs. Hold my finger over the wire guardian. I'm going to go back into this 11-oh. Now I'm going to go back around all that one more time, and then when I come back, I'm going to sew around until I'm coming out of this 11-oh down here to make my next unit. So when I come back, I'll be coming out of this 11-oh down here. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my wire guardian on, my first unit made, and I'm coming out of this 11-oh down here so that I can make my next unit. So I'm going to make my next unit with my second color. So I need 4 of my fire polish beads, but I'm only going to need 3 of my 11-ohs because I'm going to be using this 11-oh for one of them. I'm going to be sharing this 11-oh. So I'm going to pick up fire polish bead, 11-oh, fire polish bead, 11-oh, fire polish bead, 11-oh, and a fire polish bead. I'm coming out of the top of that 11-oh. I'm going to go on the bottom of it. Now I'm going to go around all that again. Back through my 11-oh that I started in. And then I'm going to sew till I'm coming out of this 11-oh down here so I can make my next unit. Now I'm going to make another unit with my third color. I'm going to pick up a fire polish bead, 11-oh, fire polish bead, 11-oh, fire polish bead, 11-oh, and a fire polish bead. Coming out of the top of that 11-oh, I'm going to go on the bottom of it. I'm going to go around all that again. Back into the 11-oh I started in. I'm going to sew till I'm coming out of this 11-oh down here. And now I'm going to make one of these little diamond shaped units that I make a lot that I call a double running a weave unit. I don't know if that's really what you're supposed to call it, but that's what I call it. So I'm going to pick up 4 11-ohs. Coming out of the top of that 11-oh, I'm going to go on the bottom of it. Now I'm going to go back into the first 11-oh. I'm going to pick up an 11-oh, go into the next 11-oh, pick up an 11-oh, go into the next 11-oh, pick up an 11-oh, go into the next 11-oh, and my connecting 11-oh, the one that I started in. Make that little diamond shape there. Now I'm going to sew until I'm coming out of this 11-0 at the tip here. I'm going to sew around that again. It's kind of loose, so I'm going to sew around the whole unit again. I'm going to sew around until I'm coming out of the tip. Okay. Now I'm going to make 3 more units just like these. So I'm going to go back to my first color. I'm going to pick up a fire polish bead, 11-0, fire polish bead, 11-0, fire polish bead, 11-0, and a fire polish bead. Coming out of the top of that 11-0, I'm going to go on the bottom of it. I'm going to sew around all that again. Pull the whole thing out of my hand. Back into my 11-0 I started in. Now I'm going to sew up here to this 11-0 at the tip here. Okay, now I'm going to make another unit with my second color, another unit with my third color, and then another one of my diamond units. And I'm going to do 5 sections of these, 5 of the sets of 3 with the diamond between them. And when I get all that done, I'll be back and we'll put the bumblebee on. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my 5 sections of my 3 colors done with the little diamonds between them. And now, instead of doing another little diamond here, I'm going to do one more of my second color. So I'm going to pick up a fire polish bead, 11-0, fire polish bead, 11-0, fire polish bead, 11-0, fire polish bead, coming out of the top of that 11, I'm going to go on the bottom of it. I'm going to go around all that again. Back into my connecting 11-0. Now instead of sewing down to this one, I'm going to sew over to this one to start to go up my second side of my necklace. Because this little unit I'm making right here is going to be at the V of my necklace. So I'm going to come out of this 11-0 here instead of this one, and I'm going to go ahead and make the next unit to start up my second side, and I want it to mirror my first side, so I want the colors to match. So I'm going to start with my third color here. So I'm going to pick up a fire polish bead, 11/0, fire polish bead, 11/0, fire polish bead, 11/0, fire polish bead. I'm coming out of the top of that 11/0. I'm going to go into the bottom of it. Now I'm going to sew around all of that again. But instead of sewing all the way around until I come back out of this 11/0 to do my next unit, I'm going to sew back down into this unit because this is the unit I'm going to hang my little bumblebee off of. So I'm going to sew down through these two, or this fire polish bead and this 11/0, and this fire polish bead and the connecting 11/0. Now I'm going to sew around this unit until I'm coming out of this 11/0 here. So I'm coming out of that 11/0 there. I'm going to go into the fire polish bead and the 11/0. The fire polish bead and the 11/0. So that's where the let me lay it out here so you can see it better. That's where the V of my necklace is. So I'm going to hang my bumblebee off of here. So I need to get my 8/0 here. My bumblebee. So let me zoom in a little here. Pick up 3 11/0s. My 8/0. I'm going to pick up my bumblebee and I want to make sure he's facing the right way. I'll pick up another 11/0 and then I'm going to drop that down, but I'm not going to go back through the 11/0. I'm going to go back through just the bumblebee and that 8/0 at the top there. Just want to go through the 8/0, not any of the others. Now I'm going to hold on to my bumblebee and pull the slack out of my thread. Now I'm going to pick up 3 more 11/0s. And I'm going to go into this 11/0. And I'm going to go on into that fire polish bead too. So that puts my bumblebee on like that. Now I'm going to sew around this unit again, back into the 11/0 and the fire polish bead. This 11/0. This fire polish bead. That 11/0. Go back down these 3 11/0s, back into the 8/0, back into the bumblebee. Now I'm going to go back into this 11/0, back up the bumblebee, back into that 8/0 above the bumblebee. I'll back up these 3 11/0s on this side and actually 4 11/0s on this side, back into the fire polish bead. So that gets my bumblebee on. Now I'm going to go into this 11/0. I'm going to sew till I'm coming out of this 11/0 here. I got caught around my Bumblebee. Okay, so now I'm going to do another unit. I want this side to match this side, so I'm going to do a unit with my second color, a unit with my first color, a diamond, and I'm just going to keep doing that until I get a strip just like the strip I've already made here. I'll go ahead and make one more. You can kind of see how it's going to look. So I'm going to pick up a fire polish bead, 11-0, fire polish bead, 11-0, fire polish bead, 11-0, fire polish bead, coming out of the bottom of that 11-0, I'm going to go into the top of it. I'm going to sew around all that again. I'm going to sew till I'm coming out of this 11-0 here so I can make my next unit. So I'm just going to keep going, making my units and my little diamonds to match this side. And then when I get this side done, I'm going to put the wire guardian on just like I did here. And then when I get all that done and come back, we'll put the chain and the rest of the findings on. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my necklace all done now. All I need to do is put my findings on. So I've got a couple of pieces of chain here. They're about 3.5 inches long. This measured about 14 inches. So I've got about 3.5 inches of chain here. And I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. And put one piece of chain on this side. Close my jump ring back up really well. I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring and do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. Put my lobster clasp on. And then I've got an 8mm jump ring. I'm going to put on this side. Then I have a little piece of extender chain, it's about 2 inches. And then I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. And attach my little leaf dangle to my extender chain. Sure to close it up really well. I'm having a little trouble with this one. I need another pair of pliers. There we go. There's my little dangle. And there's my necklace. So hold on, I'll get everything laid out so we can see it, and I'll be back. Okay, there's my necklace all done, made with some of the beads that came in the May 2025 dollar bead box and dollar bead bag, along with some beads from previous dollar bead bags. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to the dollar bead box and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.